It's 9 o'clock. The meeting's called to order. Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning. Welcome everybody to the August 26th Pipestone County Commissioners meeting. Agenda's been provided before the meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda as presented?
Mr. Chairman, I do have one on the back page with all items. Charlotte has a request for board action for the discontinuance of the short-term disability benefits, and you do have a paper copy of that with you. That's the only addition I have, Mr. Chairman, board members. Bless you.
With that amendment, I'll move the agenda.
Else?
I will second.
Motion second to approve the agenda. Is there any further discussion? Not all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next, I'm looking for approval of the consent agenda, which includes the minutes of 8/12/25, our special meeting, budget meeting on 8/19/25, commissioner warrants in the amount of $37,599.54. Auditors warrants from 8/15 and 8/22. Hospital warrants in the amount of $638,002.28.
Here, I'd move for approval. Second.
Motion second to approve consent agenda. Is there any further discussion? Not all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, first up, we have Nick Bergman, highway engineer. Or Nick.
Good morning. All right, first up for me today would be the request to approve a few right-of-way payments. These are all culvert projects, but the bottom two you'll see are rather expensive. That's because those projects they have the same landowner on both sides of the road, and both sides have a bunch of fence, so that's what drives that price up on those.
For motion to approve the.
So moved.
Okay.
I'll support that.
Motion second to approve the right-of-way payments. Is there any further discussion? Not all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
All right. Next up for me then would be, unfortunately, coaching, so we would like to make sure we have enough salt sand on hand. I assume we're getting snow again this year, so Nate rounded up some prices on salt and sand. They're listed below. We're thinking we would like approximately 1,000 tons of sand and about 175 tons of salt. That should give us, that with what we already have should give us the right ratio and right total amount. So.
Fair motion to approve the salt and sand purchases. I will second.
Okay. Motion second to approve the salt and sand purchases. Is there any further discussion?
Quite a difference in prices on there. It's
You're referencing salt or sand? I can, if you'd like.
Yeah. No, that's appreciate you did your due diligence and did some checking around there.
Yep. The one that always gets me is the salt. We have local people are private suppliers that'll get it to us cheaper than the state contract, and it didn't
Doesn't make
with me, so I asked Nate to look into that, and I guess what the answer he got was when they do the state bids, they kind of do it by region of the state, and it's coming from south of us, so for our region, we're actually on the closer end. So, they bid it for the center of our region, but we're closer, so when we contact private people, they're actually a little bit cheaper than the state bid, so it doesn't matter to me, it's the same material, so we'll just go with the cheaper one, so.
Is there any further discussion? Not all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
All right, that's all I had for now. I have that, or I'll stick around here for, in case the contractor shows up with the bid, but otherwise we have that bid opening at 10:30, so. Any other questions for me in the meantime?
Thing for Nick? Guess not, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Next up we had Kyle Creer. I don't see him here, so you guys comfortable with moving Jason up
No, that's great.
since Jason's here? All right, Jason, ready for you if you're ready. Morning.
Morning.
Undoubtedly, we'll probably have a couple of showing up
Oh.
because but they can sit in the back. That's okay.
We don't want to exclude them either. We can wait if it's better for you.
So I'll work through. I'll be talking quite a bit here, so. But yeah, thank you for having me. A little differently, we send out our audits electronically and just invite. Some take the opportunity for me and some don't. They know the routine, so. But I appreciate coming to this county commission meeting always got a lot of activities in the county here, so I want to keep you abreast of everything going on here, so. The purpose today is to present our audit. We have finalized that and give you a little insight into the activities of Lincoln Pipestone Rural Water. And then I see on your agenda, you have a joint powers. I'll go over that briefly. That will apply to all the counties that we serve, so. Starting with the audit, I'm going to, you should have received it electronically. I'm just going to narrow it down to 3 of the pages. We have secured the services of Kinner and Company out of various towns, Brookings included. They do our financial statements on a monthly basis. From there, we also out our audit firm every year. This year, it's for the last 3 years, actually, it's been Wollenberg Ritzman out of Yankton. They rendered the audit a fair and clean opinion. On page 5 of the audit shows our net position for fiscal year 24. The total assets at the end of the year were 99,805,966. That is just a little bit over a $6 million increase over the prior year. A lot of things involved in that, primarily the connection of a town, and I'll talk about that later. The total liabilities at the end of the year were $31,515,000. That's a $2.6 million decrease over the prior year. Lincoln Pipestone maintains about $10,694,000 in unrestricted that we use for any ongoing operating obligations. So at the total net position at the end of the year was $67,152,115. That is an increase of $7.5 million or 12.7% over the prior year. The increase reflects investments in capital assets, including land, buildings, and equipment. I'll touch on some of our projects here after a little bit. The decrease is in outstanding debt, and I'll refer to that here in a little bit. On page 6, the total revenue, and that comes in the form of charges for services, capital grants, and investment income. That totaled $16,952,000. That's an increase of $7.4 million. Total operating expenses was $9,373,933. That's an increase of only $273,486, or just under 3%. So it's very stable. I always note that Lincoln Pipestone continues to fund depreciation, and that's shown as expenses in our audit, and any grant monies and money from hookups are not reported as operating income, but as equity inflow. And finally, on the page on the top half of page 7, shows our capital assets. Capital assets equated to $72,558,908. That's an increase of just under 9% in the system's investments. The system improvements are shown in the bullet points. They are primarily tied up in the replacement of our service fleet vehicles and a couple of additional equipment purchases, and new services totaling $9,293,768. So that's skewed because we hooked up the city of Ellsworth. So a good chunk of that new portion is from the city of Ellsworth down south end. The depreciation on assets, including distribution, pumps, towers, everything was $3,605,000. And then at the bottom of 7 is our total outstanding indebtedness, and which is primarily tied up in bonds, and that is now at $29,407,000, a decrease of $1.2 million or 4% in 24. So I like to see that because over the last 10 years, we've gone from about a meager, or I should say about a $46 million debt down to 29. So we're on a good path. Now, I'm gonna sway that here in a little bit, so enjoy it now, right? We are embarking on some USDA rural development projects here. We have not spent any of the funds yet, so we don't have any single audits we have to do yet. That'll come in the future. So that's a quick synopsis of our audit for fiscal year 2024. As far as our activities, oh, go ahead.
A quick question. You mentioned that he picked up the municipal of Ellsworth. So do you meter just one time there, or do you meter every residence in the town?
So in that community, it's just a bulk service or one meter to the community. Yep. And then the community is responsible for everybody in that.
Billing and everything else.
Yep.
You just have one bill, one
Yep.
meter.
There is a changing of the winds here for the extremely small communities or unincorporated towns where they're seeking our help to go into the jurisdiction and help out in that manner for whatever reason. So, and we're preparing for that. So, in 2024, Lincoln Pipestone connected 55 new rural customers throughout our entire system. In Pipestone County specific, we connected 4, and all 4 of those are being assessed for a portion of their hookup costs. The 55 is right in the ballpark. In prior years, we average somewhere between 40 to 80, averaging about 55 a year throughout our system. And Lincoln Pipestone is gearing up for several capital improvement projects, and I'll touch later about the joint powers agreement. Regarding our North Water Source project, which includes source treatment and transmission up on the north end of our system, we have received funding from USDA, both a loan grant mix. We also have received $5.75 million from the state of Minnesota. The transmission line will go from and I'll show you a map because that's included in your joint powers agreement. It goes from a future treatment plant 18 miles to existing transmission line near the town of Clarkfield. So we're actually moving water from the very north end south or up the hill, so to speak. We currently have 2 production wells drilled there, and both have been awarded. The pipeline and the treatment plant has been awarded to contractors. So in addition, we are gearing up for treatment at our Holland source, just north of town here. We do intend to put in advanced treatment technology, including what's referred to as biota, which uses biological or bacteria means of reducing nitrates. We've received $4 million from the state of Minnesota to help with that. We still are going to seek more funding for that. We are also investigating towns and rural residents in unserved areas, primarily in Murray County, to see if that's of interest for this project as well. We're going to be putting a storage tank at our existing Burr source west of Canby, and that is already started, and that'll be about an 800,000 gallon glass line tank. And we are seeking a booster and a tower on the north end of our system. So we got a lot of projects going on. And if you've been driving up Highway 75 through Lake Benton up north, you'll see we are working on a facility. Should be done by the end of this week. Substantial completion is gonna be in the middle of September. By the time we get our servers and computers and everything moved over, we're looking at October, so we'll likely have an open house and you're more than welcome to come up. It should be a good environment for us to continue on for the next many years to come, so. Like I said earlier, the municipal connections, the city of Ellsworth, they have become our 37th community, and that was finalized in the fall of 2024. We still have strong interest from cities throughout the region, seeking to Lincoln Pipestone as an option when they weigh everything. Could be a reasoning with the type of water they have, the quantity of water they have, or even on the discharge side of things for us to solve their problems. So we are having talks with quite a few towns, believe it or not. Lincoln Pipestone, just not all that long ago, expanded their water source allocation for their purchased amount of water from Osceola County Rural Water down in Iowa. We've secured 500,000 gallons a day from there. Lewis and Clark Water, we are going to be expanding that here by 2031. We got an additional 640,000 gallons a day, so we'll be up to 1.74 million a day from them. And us, along with some other members in Minnesota and the city of Pipestone now, are part of Dakota Main Stem, which is another concept similar to Lewis and Clark, where they're going to be pulling water somewhere in the vicinity of Missouri River and be shipping it to the actually quad state region. Now there's some interest in Nebraska. With Dakota Main Stem, there's approximately 56 or 57 members in that. And now Pipestone recently signed up. So the demands for high quality drinking water steadily continues. Like I said, we average 55 customers a year throughout our system, and that's pretty solid. Regarding my commissioners, and I don't know if they've shown up yet, but at the end of the year, Commissioner Frank Engels, who served parts of Lyon and Lincoln, and Brent Fikema, who served portions of Murray and Nobles County, both retired. One to note, Frank was the longest tenured commissioner. He had been on our system for 48 years. He was one of the original of the steering committee. He's still active on our board on the side. He couldn't cut the ties yet. They were replaced by Jeff Davis and Ryan Bloom on the south end here. Commissioner Rod Spunk will be leaving his position on our board at the end of this year. And so we are in the process of filling that position now, and that's through an interview process. So that kind of covers our activities, which gives me a good segue into the Joint Powers Board. But if there's any questions.
Just to note, it's Ryan Blum.
Ryan Blum. What did I say? Bloom?
Bloom.
Oh, yeah.
He's not blooming. He's just one hole.
You
So
mentioned you had 4 or 5 new hookups in Pipestone County?
4.
4. And what is the average cost for hookup? And were those residential, or were those large farms, or were those livestock operations?
If I recall, and they don't hold me to it, but I think they're all residential in Pipestone. The cost to hook up, the minimum cost is $18,500. And that was recently adjusted. We look at that almost yearly for costs. So 500 being a membership fee, and then the 18 is a compilation of not only the actual physical cost, but as well as the capacity that they're buying into the system. Yeah, good question.
One of your board members is here.
I was talking about you guys, and you weren't even here to defend yourselves.
Morning.
Morning.
All right, Joint Powers Agreement. So this is the first of probably 3 in total that you'll be getting. Reason being is we have secured a $28 million loan grant mix from from rural development. And the best way, and this is encouraged by rural development, is to break this up. And it is a little more palatable for the counties that help us bond for projects for interim financing. I'm certain that not too many counties want to take on a $26 million loan with us. So we're breaking it up into three. In doing so, we'll have to do this 3 times. And we understand it, but this is the cheapest route for Lincoln Pipestone to take and most manageable. So our loan with rural development is extremely low. So if we can get out of the interim portion and into a permanent loan, it's more advantageous to us. Maybe the best thing to do is, if you don't mind, going to the very last page in the joint powers agreement. I appreciate Steve for letting me borrow his, but it is a map showing our project. And you can see the communities of Boyd and Clarkfield. Our proposed water treatment plant location will be straight west of the community of Boyd, about 1.5 miles. We are along a tar road. It was strategically placed there because of the roadway, because of the elevation that it offers. From there, we're going to run a transmission line back to an existing transmission line east of Clarkfield. And so you can see the route there. Most of that is secured with easements. We are still working on a railroad crossing, which is always difficult. And then from there, you can see it goes, there are some raw water line going northwest to 2 wells. There is a projected 3rd well that we may take advantage of our water treatment plant site and place that well there. Each of those wells will produce 750 gallons a minute. So the plant is designed for a 1,500 gallon a minute plant. They've been hard tested with the DNR to prove it out. And the aquifer that exists is not a shallow aquifer, it's an intermediate. So we don't have to deal with nitrates. We do have to do some treatment for and a little bit of hardness, but we will be using lime softening at that treatment plant. And then the intention is to go north and west to unserved areas. Lacaparo County has some really nasty water up there. They've been contacting us to get something happening up there, so we're working on that. Okay, so now back to the joint powers agreement. We set these up. We lean on our counties to help with this. Gone through this before for those that are new. We reach out to this agreement. It'll be issued to all 10 counties that we're in and get their approvals. On page 2, so this is referring to the North Water Source Project, and you can see that the total cost is going to be on the high end of $43 million. You can see in number 7 there the breakdown of those total project costs. Lincoln Pipestone's already started some of those costs. Number 8 shows where our funding sources are coming from. You can see there's 26 million in general obligation bonds from rural development. The grant portion is 2 million. We received 8,264,000 from the state of Minnesota. We are connecting with the city of Cottonwood, and so that they become a major part of our project. So their contribution is 2.376 of that. We anticipate about 260,000 in new customer connection fees. And Lincoln Pipestone has been putting away in their capital reserve fund, 4 million. So we had to earmark 4 million for both the state and for rural development. And so that totals 43 million. And like I said, this is going to be split out into 3 parts. So you would not be surprised to see me yet again come about a year from now when I'll be getting the second one. We'll be reaching out. So this one will be tackled by Lacaparo County. All our counties have been part of joint powers agreements. certain counties have been part of LEADS or the primary funding county because they're the beneficiary. Of course, in this area, Lacapar will be the primary beneficiary, and they've agreed to tackle the first one, which is 9.9 million. I will come again to another county to ask for backing of a 9.8 for interim, and then the final 6 and change. That'll total out to 26 million. Other than that, I guess the big thing is understanding for the county commissioners to understand that if we were to ever default, there is a formula based on the amount of infrastructure and connections in each county that it would default on. So not any one particular county would take on the responsibility if Lincoln Pipestone were to default. The truth of the matter is we won't default because we would just raise rates if we needed to. But we manage our finances very, very appropriate, and our debt load's appropriate, so that I don't ever anticipate that ever happening. Yeah, I guess that's, I'm asking for approval from the county, and I'll be doing this again for some of the other counties. They've all received it. Do you have any questions on this agreement?
Questions?
As your footprint expands throughout the region, then your workforce, are you putting satellite shops out as well too? You're running everything out of Lake Bend?
Yeah, so our new office shop will be our hub, and which is a good thing because our footprint is large. And so we do have satellite shops. One is located just northeast of Adrian. We've got one at a tower right by the community of Minneota. We also have some pump stations that kind of serve as inventory reserves. And then in the future, at this location where this Boyd plant is, we actually had in concept a shop there, just because it's even further north. But if we do, we cut that out for money saving opportunities. But if we put it there, then we'll probably keep some inventory.
And total workforce now is?
Lost a couple from retirement. That is a wave of succession I'm dealing with right now. I'm sitting at 21 employees right now. So we have a pretty solid workforce, but as we grow, we're gonna have to add a new treatment plant operator for this project, so.
We're looking for a motion to approve the joint powers
I'd
agreement.
make that motion.
Okay, thank you, Luke. Okay. Motion second to approve the joint powers agreement. Is there any further discussion? Not all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Very much, and you're always welcome to come up and see us, and have any questions, feel free.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks.
Kyle, ready?
Morning.
Morning.
Kyle.
A lot of dollars,
Mind boggling.
a lot less. Today I'm looking for board acknowledgement or approval to me to apply for a ag inspector grant. Legislature approved $500,000 to be allocated to counties for ag inspecting duties. So I put together a work plan that you all should have received a copy of. Just threw together a preliminary budget. I threw out about 18,000 for our expense. And then based on the application, we'll receive somewheres possibly between 5,000 to 10,000 from the grant, assuming everything is approved. So this is just to get approval to submit it. Any questions?
Yeah, I'd move to approve. Second.
Yeah, motion second to approve the request for grant request. Yep.
Is
For
it
the
just a
ag-
1 year, one time?
I believe it's gonna be ongoing, but that's kind of unknown.
One of those things that.
Yep.
They never,
Right, this is
Commit
the
to-
first time there's been money specifically for ag inspecting. There's been some some grants, previously, but nothing for the admin part of it.
Talked about it for a long time.
Yeah.
So these, on the personnel then, so the hours you're talking about, the 160 and the 20, so that's an annual hourly estimate.
Would that be a new position or is?
Nope, that's just right
Interim.
currently things that are being done already.
You know, the townships refer some ag inspection stuff to you already.
Right,
Is that-
right now, our policy for the county is if we get a complaint, we refer them to have them complain to the township first so that the township takes the initial action on compliance. If they don't get compliance, then we will pursue it from the county. Generally, it's a phone call and that's about all it amounts to. So
The compliance has been better the last while rather than 20 years ago, correct?
yeah, it's gotten much better.
And you've got the manpower to fill this requirement, or you're looking to hire new people for
Nope,
this?
we're just, like I said, this is currently just what we've got for staff time already, so. Nothing will change.
It's just getting reimbursed for work they already do.
Right.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay, we have motion second to approve the egg inspector grant application. Is there any further discussion? Not all in favor signify by saying aye.
I,
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thanks, Kyle. Next up, we have Bill at 10. Is there any other business, Steve? You want to move up, maybe Charlotte? Yep. Good morning.
First, I'll address the request for board action for the discontinuation of short-term. Little background on this. We currently offer employees a voluntary short-term disability insurance benefit. Beginning January 1st, 2026, the Minnesota Paid Family and Medical Leave Program will provide those eligible employees with wage replacement benefits for qualifying medical and family-related absences. The PFML program substantially overlaps with and exceeds the coverage provided under the current short-term disability benefit. Maintaining both programs would create redundancy, potential employee confusion, and unnecessary administrative costs to the county. So it is requested for you to approve the discontinuation of the short-term disability benefit effective at the end of this year, December 31st, 2025.
Mr. Chair, I'll move that we approve the request to disconnect or discontinue the short-term disability benefit.
We have motion second to approve the discontinuation of short-term disability benefits ending December 31st. And the one beginning January 1st. Is there any further discussion?
Just for the benefit of the other committee members, and we've been tackling this with the insurance committee, so that was our recommendation, so.
Thank you for your work on this.
Were there a number of employees that were taking advantage of that short-term disability coverage?
Since I've started, we're averaging about one a month. There is a substantial amount of paperwork that goes along with the claims process. And I've even had one employee didn't want to do the paperwork, so they didn't receive the benefit. With PFML and having all of this with MetLife, next year, it'll really consolidate that claims process, making it a lot easier for employees to receive the PMFL benefit.
So there was one a month that was making claims. How many were enrolled in the program?
We had about 13 total.
Any further discussion? Not all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Okay, just a brief human resources report. We have our highway maintenance worker position open, working to schedule interviews. Hopefully next week or the following week, depending with the holiday and availability. So hopefully get that position hired soon. Heather Harstad, is a current part-time EMT. She has hired to fill the full-time EMT vacancy. Okay, August 29th. So excited to have her come on as full-time. And then just a brief update on some key initiatives. Open enrollment planning is underway for the upcoming open enrollment period. We're working to ensure a smooth process with clear communication and support materials to help employees make informed benefit decisions. Lots of benefit changes this year, so having that clear communication will be key. Our HR connection development, currently working to build up the HR connection as a centralized online resource hub for employees. Once this is complete, the platform will serve as a single location for benefit information, HR policies, important forms, and other employee resources, which will streamline the access and improving transparency amongst all employees. And then finally, just an update on our HR payroll software RFP. This closed last week. We have received a total of 4 proposals in response to that RFP. So I'll begin reviewing those submissions and coordinating the evaluation process with payroll. Again, our goal is to identify a solution that best aligns with the county's operational needs and enhances efficiency in HR and payroll functions. That's all I have for you today.
You're gonna actually be able to try those out then?
There won't be any beta platforms that we'll be able to use. Setting those up is quite extensive, but we will be shadowing other counties that are using those systems.
Other questions? Thank you.
Yep.
Steve, did you, looks like you have a few items here.
Yes, I just have the request for the fairgrounds use, and I do have a request for board action at the back. If I find it. Received a request last week through committee, through the Chamber of Commerce, for a request to use the fairgrounds for a public fall festival on September 27th from either 10 to 3 or 11 to 3 on the 27th. They may need the blue building in case of poor weather, planning on having it outdoors. They will need use of the bathrooms, and they're thinking about possible use of the FFA barn for little animals and things like that. So it's going to be a family-oriented event for a fall festival. They're requesting, since it's a community event, that they would be able to use the facilities at the fairgrounds at no fee. And the Chamber of Commerce will be providing the certificate of insurance for the event. So it's a new event they're trying out this year through the Chamber for a fall festival.
Okay.
I think it'd be good that the utilize the fairgrounds for them. It's a good way to do it and promote the community, county, and get people together and give it a try. It's worth a shot. Very good forward thinking on their part.
I'll move that we approve the request at no fee.
I'll second the request or the motion there. So a motion second, waive the fee for Chamber of Commerce to hold a fall festival on September 27th. Any further discussion?
I don't think it's a completely new concept. They've had fall festivals in the past. They were out at the soccer field. So this is just a modification, upgrade of that.
We have to make sure that they get a certificate of insurance, so.
And that's.
Edgerton's had a fall festival for years and that kind of fell by the wayside because of lack of insurance. Nobody would insure it anymore.
No, that was stated in the request here that they will.
Yeah. And I will get with the chamber, make sure they've got that.
Thank you.
You bet.
Appreciate it. Steve, yeah, I think you mentioned it well. We're always looking for use of the fairgrounds for more than what we do, and especially to host a community event. Very good. Okay, is there any further discussion?
Only issue Charlotte just reminded me of, there's some tiling work going on out there and hopefully that'll be done by then, but I'll check with Kyle on that.
Just a question regarding the animals. What is that for, like pets or?
Petting zoo or something.
Yeah, the petting zoo, probably kittens and puppies and
Sure.
a couple of goats. I don't know.
A few copperheads or so. Just to keep it interesting.
Right.
So this is, or they just are putting this together, so it's early in the planning stage, but they want to get with the county right away, so calendar anyway. Looking forward to it.
Is there any further discussion? Not all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you for that. I'll let them know. We're moving right along. Want me to go grab Bill?
Yep, if he's ready.
Bless you.
Bless you.
The events that the chamber puts on are always just a great success. I expect good things out of this.
Yep, they're well organized. Yep. Is Bill ready?
Yep. Right in.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning.
Morning, Bill.
We got three things today. Got up there. The security alarm, let's start there. So I got a quote from our vendor. This will be an upgrade to the system that's out there, or basically kind of a replacement. Some of the components that we're using right now date back to town public services, so some of it has lasted quite a while. But it's end of life and it's time to replace it. We're even having difficulty finding the batteries for the devices, the buttons. Basically it's a complete replacement of that system to include all the panic button, the repeaters, the main board, and the temperature sensor. We have a temperature sensor for the IT room that's out there. And that's kind of what it is. The plan is to stay with this vendor. And the new systems we have added have made it even more seamless for using them. So to go outside again for something else, it would really throw a wrench back into and have another competing system or type of system to try to use.
Imagine we already have a contract in place for service and stuff with them. And so,
But this would be we'd have to
yes,
whatever they call it.
Yep.
Probably.
Raise it, I'm sure, with the new system.
Any questions about it?
Yeah.
Steve, so is this over and above our lease with Southwest Health and Human Services? They leased the building from us. Is this a service that we are expected to provide for that, or is this over and above
This
We're
is
providing for that.
This is part of it,
part of that lease agreement?
correct?
I guess this probably piggybacks with some safety concerns that they've had over the years. I know we've installed glass and a number of other things to try to make it more secure. So updating the security system, like Bill mentioned, is it took from an old building to move over there to a brand new building too. And so makes sense to me. So
And
Surprised the old one still works.
absolutely.
Because it's not that brand new building anymore.
No, it's not.
Well, Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion. We approve the expenditure of funds to upgrade that security system.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion second to approve.
That's the 6317.
317. Okay. All right, is there any further discussion? Not all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Okay. Next, we're upgrading the Document Pro server. This is going to require an upgrade to the SQL license from Microsoft. The price is about $1,000 more than it was the last time we did this. Kind of standard boilerplate with Microsoft coming at us every 5 to 7 years for a redo.
How many years is this good for?
It's kind of its permanent thing, but eventually it'll just age out and it just won't work with anything again.
Planned obsolescence.
Planned, yes.
Your motion to,
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I'll support it.
a motion second to approve, server purchase SQL server purchase. Is there any further discussion? Not all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign.
Right, thank you.
Carries.
And lastly, we've been asked by Southwest to provide some help desk services for them. They are down a couple employees right now. And there's no turmoil or anything, but we figure we have a little bit of capacity we could help them with. We've asked that it would not really include any travel. Travel would kind of probably cripple us, but there's a lot we can do over the wire, over the phone to make stuff happen. So we came up with this contract, and they've stumbled on the rate a little bit, but I mean, we have to hold firm on this. I believe that if we lower our rate, their other resources would be more expensive, and this is kind of tied to where they are. If we do that, then we'll do all the work. Anybody have any questions about what we're planning on doing?
Chairman, if I can add to it, this has been working with Carol Biernes and Bill on this, and he's absolutely right. The reason we chose $100 an hour is we're in line then with the other provider that's providing services as well. We don't want to undercut or be above them because we don't want to do more than we possibly can, if you will. Our people are busy enough here. So if there's something going on, especially just out here with ours, we don't expect them to be driving to Marshall and Redwood Falls and Laverne and all that. It just basically help them out if needed. And it might even be that Bill might even have to contact Sean for assistance on this too, depending on what's going on. And hopefully this will only be going on until they get their new IT director hired for this Southwest Health and Human Service.
But if you have to use Sean, does that cover the full cost of his services?
Well, but it'll help.
No. He charges basically the same rate,
Same
$3
rate.
an hour. So
Okay,
Oh,
going above him and we weren't going below him,
Okay.
keeping the same.
right, and you don't want to be the discount rate or everyone would be
Correct.
going to you.
Right.
Yeah,
I did talk to Carol about it over there, and she did mention that during the board meeting, there was a little bit of pushback on the rate that we were talking about charging, but I think we're talking about it now. I think you understand a little more why we did that, we don't want to take on all their IT.
right.
We know this is temporary until they get something going there.
You mentioned if you have to use Sean for other things, but he would bill them directly. Sean's bill wouldn't come through us.
Correct.
Because they
Yeah.
worked with him before. But both Doug and I sit on the board, we discussed this, and yes, it's just a temporary thing. And it's nothing new. We've done this in the past with them. It's just a little more formalized.
Correct.
And hopefully by year end, they'll fill the 2 spots there.
They're kind of changing the philosophy up there a little bit before, as far as the position, whether it's gonna be a department head or whether it's gonna be managers. Mr. Chair, I'll move that we approve this request to enter into this working agreement with Southwest Health and Human Services. And again, understood that it's only as your time allows.
Correct.
Mr. Chair.
a motion second to agree, with the Southwest Health and Human Services IT Help Desk Agreement. Is there any further discussion?
On the outside, it might seem strange because there's time to time that we need to hire help. But this is a different skill level. We're not hiring help to augment what we're subbing them with, complete different.
For that clarification, Dan. Any further discussion? Not all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Yep.
All right. I think that concludes our other business and time sensitive business for now. Next up, we have Steve Weeks coming at 10:15. Would you gentlemen entertain a brief recess until Steve shows up? Okay. Okay, we'll go recess, time is 9:50.
Which you.
I think, okay.
Very long or?
Time is 10:02. We'll reconvene the meeting.
behind.
Uh, have auditor treasurer, Madam Sandy present. We're gonna go over her 2026 budget.
I guess not, for the most part, it's pretty much similar as to previous years. Notes here. 2026, first we'll start with the auditor treasurer department. And like I said, for the most part, everything's pretty much similar, bumped up driver's license fees as those fees had increased. But the state had increased those fees, so, bumped that one up. I had also the printing, publishing, advertising had bumped that one up to just make it more in line, cause it looked like it, you know, been for current year for 2025, we were already getting over the budget, so that one I bumped up a little bit more. And then I did budget a little bit more in the equipment, 300 to 10,000, because the treasurer's office had talked about getting some standing desks, so budgeted in for that one.
Amanda, you mentioned the license fees, driver's license fees.
Hmm.
Do we retain all that or is a big
No,
chunk that goes?
no,
to
I
state?
mean, the state has a share and then we get a portion.
So even though you show that here as income,
Yeah, that's-
later on, you show that,
Yeah.
oh, that is our portion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any questions for Amanda, comments for the auditor treasurer? Okay,
Then the audit department just has the one line, and that one got that one bumped up because the highway department is having a bigger project, so I'm anticipating that there will be a single audit. So thus the reason that we bumped that one up more than the standard audit rate. There's additional that rate came from the agreement letter that we had with. Then, is there any other questions with that one or go on to elections?
question? I think it's pretty self-explanatory, thank you.
And the final one that I have is elections, and 2026 will be an election year. So. And the one item I did notice I hadn't done was I hadn't put anything, at the very bottom of our account numbers, we have, some restricted accounts. That's the items when we like get grants and stuff. And we have been getting some voter funding. So I probably need to add into that, but what I would add for revenue would be recorded in the expenses because I did not budget any expenditures for what would be covered under that. Those voter funds. So what I had tentatively put in would be for account 01-064-0-2751-5353. that we would get around $10,000 revenue, and then it would be 5,000 each for the expense for the 27516,241 printing, publishing, advertising, and then the 27516,343 for rentals and service agreements. So I guess I would probably propose that we put those in. It doesn't have a net effect to our bottom line, but it just makes it a little bit more accurate. Looking back in the previous years, we hadn't ever budgeted, but you can kind of see that we have act there. That voter funding is a somewhat new thing. And again, wasn't really sure if it would continue on every year, but it has. So my thought would be is that we anticipate that it will continue on every year.
And a couple items then on
Mhm.
page 25, printing, publishing, then we actually had a little expense in 25. You got nothing budgeted in 26. The same thing with rentals and services. We had $6,000 worth of expenditure. You got nothing budgeted in 26. Do we need to,
For which one is
on
the?
page 25? Printing, publishing to be item 27516241.
Yeah, I think she suggested putting 5,000 in
Yeah.
each of those,
Yep,
The 5,000.
and then the 10,000 revenue right above that.
Right.
10,000 of
That
revenue,
revenue.
5,000 in for that printing, publishing, advertising, and then also a 5,000 in for that rentals and service agreements, kind of like you're seeing where they actually have some expenditures in
343.
three.
Yeah, that one.
This one,
Mhm.
1,000 in there too.
Yep. And then as you go down, I see general supplies. We had 3,800 expenditure before, nothing budgeted. Were you gonna put some in there as well, or?
So that one, possibly we could, so that, but what that was, cause those are in our restricteds, we have a little bit of a balance for some previous grants, some HAVA grants. And so that's what, in essence, those were using some of those previously restricted money. So I don't want to put in, it is a restricted, so I don't think it would affect our levy because it's restricted funds. But in the caution of making sure that it is not considered an expenditure that we would levy for, I would not want to have it, because we would just utilize some of those restricted funds that are already available.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Any questions, comments for Amanda on the elections? Anything else for Amanda? I think the last, department you had to go over, so, okay.
Wonderful.
All right, well, thank you for your time. Thanks for coming. See, we have Steve Wheat. We're ready for you if you're ready for us. Good morning.
Brother, everybody else.
Always good to see you.
A long time since I've been in the hot seat here.
It's gotta be a little more cool nowadays, right?
Qualified, I see.
Okay, so, thanks for the invitation. And for the past funding that we've gotten, it's without the city, county, United Way and, memberships, we doing well at all. Currently, we have 124 members at the senior center, and most of those members are pretty active. We only have a capacity of 99 in the building, but the most that we've had this year is 72. So I don't think we'll ever hit the 99, but 72 is still pretty good. So we've got one part-time employee, and that's Diane Hurd. She's been with us for quite a while. This past year, through the help of everybody and a little push from quite a few people, we did get senior dining, and we got that started within the center, and it is doing pretty good. Some days there's only 2 people, but they've had up to 18 to 20. So it's building. And I think what's going to happen is it kind of started during a bad time because it started during the summer months. And people are, they're pretty portable yet. But I think when winter comes, I think we're gonna see a huge increase in those meals, which is good. The Meals on Wheels, which are being delivered, are up to about 35 now. It hit an all-time high of 56. And then it did take a decline down to about 22, 23, but she's back up to about 35 now. So that's also increasing.
So how's the mechanics of the Meals on Wheels going? And so the meals are coming to your facility and then they're going out from there.
Correct. The Lutheran Social Service is the ones that are in charge of the senior dining and the Meals on Wheels. The meals are made in Laverne at Generations down there, which is their senior center. They've got a huge, huge kitchen that Lutheran Social Service has rented. I think they make well over 1,000 meals a day that go all Jackson, all 5 counties, I think is what they go for, 5 counties. There used to be many, many, many kitchens throughout the state of Minnesota, but Lutheran Social Service is down to just 4 kitchens now. And so there's one down here, there's one like central Minnesota, northern Minnesota, and then the metro area. So they've really cut down the kitchens.
And they're back to a hot meal every day.
Hot meal every day, yes.
I know for a while there had been some flux in there, so I'm
Yep.
glad that's back and operating well.
We have a steam table up at the senior center, and when the meals come, they get there about 10:30. She throws them in the steam table, and so they're kept nice and warm. They're served at 11:30. So, yeah, and it's nice because they're served, congregately. People sit around the tables, they can visit, and a lot of it is not just the meal, but it's the camaraderie amongst the people, which really is nice. A lot of lonely people in town. So, every Monday we have what's called Monday Mugs. In the afternoon, there's a bunch of people that get together. It's mostly women, but sometimes there's men. They'll come around and chat and might even gossip just a little bit. You never know. Nothing gets by them, that's for sure. Limber and Laughing exercise takes place every Tuesday morning. There's about 20 to 25 people that come, and we've got a couple of exercise leaders. They do some just off paper, they do some off the TV, and so they really have a good group. And then Hand and Foot, which is a card game, along with other card games, are played on Tuesday afternoons, and there's usually anywhere from 12 to 15 people at those card games. Dominoes are played on Wednesday mornings, and the afternoon is reserved for educational speakers. We try at least from September on, we try to have at least 2 educational speakers per month. The first Thursday of every month, bingo is played. And then birthday parties are held on the second Thursday of the month. And then the other 2 Thursdays, it's just kind of open for anybody that wants to come in if they want to start a card game or they want to just say, hey, let's go in and have coffee or whatever. It's always open, for that. And then 2 Fridays per month is open to the seniors for the food shelf. And that started about a year ago. And we have an average of about 50 seniors per every other week that show up for that. So it's very, very well served. The Thursdays, Roger tells me it's about 80 people. So serving well over 500 families per month at the food shelf. So it's a busy place. And in order to subsidize our income, we have 4 fundraisers each year. We have the Belgian Waffle Feed in April, which is our largest income. Root beer float sales in July. Alice's Indian Tacos in October. And then we have the holiday fair in November, which is held out at the high school. And it's kind of like a craft fair. Joni Peterson is in charge of that, and she does just an absolute excellent job. And then we use those funds for operational expenses. And if you flip it over, you can kind of see what our budget is. From the city, we get 12,000, county, we get 6, United Way, 5,000. Sioux Valley Energy, that's kind of on a yearly basis, but they've been really, really good. That's their Operation Roundup. They've been really good about giving us $1,000 from that each year. Membership dues, $3,000. And then from our fundraisers and some donations that we get, we've got about $10,500 in that income. So our total budget is about $37,500. And then our salary is $12,000, payroll tax $2,400, state payroll tax $450, unemployment $1,500, city water $800, gas $3,000, Excel $3,000. And our bills since we're in that new building, our bills have really been running reasonably. So I am a little bit high on the $3,000 for each of those. The building is so energy efficient. It was built really, really well. And we're very, very fortunate for that. Blue Peak, that's kind of the expensive one, $1,800. And we split that with the food shelf. So it's actually double that. This is just our half. And that's just for having the internet in the building, but gotta have it, can't operate without it. So. Insurance, there's another expensive one, $4,000, and that's just our half. The food shelf also pays $4,000 to insure the building. Copy maintenance, $750, postage $500, office supplies and cleaning supplies both $1,000. Janitorial and cleaning, $600. Mowing and snow removal, $2,500. And the way the Farmer's Almanac sounds for this year, we may need the 2,500.
That's what Morris said.
Yeah. Advertising, 1,000, and then just miscellaneous expense, 1,200 for expenses of 37,500 also, so. It's been fun having the new building. It's well used. It's been well received. Oh, and we do rent it out on occasion. We don't want to make it a real habit, but there's been a couple of family reunions and a couple of occasions that have been there, but we kind of don't want to be made known for that because we're afraid if it starts renting out, the seniors won't have the opportunity to use it as much as what they should. It'll be rented all the time because it is a nice place, so. Anybody have any questions?
You mentioned Blue Peak.
Yeah.
Have you had any success getting them back to attach that to the building and on the north side of the building? That's been a couple years just laying like that, so.
I know. Bill has suggested, Bill Folder, that possibly we think about going to Starlink, and so it might be something that
Blue,
get a little
Blue
bit.
Peak, just internet, or is that television also, or what?
We've got just the internet,
Just the internet?
just the internet,
Yeah.
yeah.
And voice over phone or voice over internet too, yeah.
We, at our home, we actually dropped Blue Peak recently because it got to $310 a month for cable and internet. So it's plus.
I bailed at 260.
Hulu is good at $88, so.
Yes, it is.
Any questions?
Any questions for Steve? Well, thank you for your time. Thanks
You
for coming
bet.
to
Thank you
present.
guys.
And thank you for everything you do.
Thanks. Nice seeing you.
Good to see you.
seeing you.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay. Our last order of business is a bid opening, which is time sensitive at 10:30. So we'll take a recess until 10:30. The time right is almost 10:19. Right, the time is 10:30. We'll reconvene the meeting. Next up, we have bid opening for box culvert number 3 projects. I'll turn it over to Nick.
Right, this is our third box culvert contract for 2025. As you'll see, these are kind of spread out, which is a little different for us, but that's just kind of how it went this year, so. We have one up a little bit northwest of Kaz, one a couple miles north of Hatfield, and then one southwest of Edgerton for the township, so. The auditor's office, because it says they can turn in bids until 10:30, so he'll be down to confirm.
There he is. Behind you.
That's it? Yep. All right. So it looks like we have 3 bids for this project. First one is Midwest Contracting out of Marshall. All right, bid for Midwest, $353,097.50. $353,097.50. Second bid, RNG Construction out of Marshall. RNG's bid, $358,670 and I think that's. Yeah, $358,670 even. So 358,670. The last bid is A&C Excavating. A and C's bid, $294,380.25. $294,380.25. Engineer's estimate was $351,508. $351,508.
Arms are good.
Well, it looks to me like A and C was low. We've worked with them a bunch of times, so I have no concerns with them. So I guess I'd recommending wording contingent on us checking their math and making sure that all checks out.
I'll make that a motion. We have awarded to A and C Excavating.
I will second.
Okay. A motion second to award the bid to A and C Excavating. Their bid total is 294,380.25. Is there any further discussion?
Nick, with such a large spread, you double check, make sure the math is right.
That's why I asked the math thing. No, they've historically been cheaper. They're
Hungry.
not trying to sound derogatory, but they're a smaller operation, you know, so I don't know that they have the overhead that some of the others do, but you know, the other two were super close and they were pretty much spot on for our engineer's estimate. So I think E and C just really wanted this one, so.
Benefits the town.
Yep, they're local. They're up by Lake Benton, so, you know, they prefer to not have to travel far for work, so.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? Not all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
We will notify them and get the paperwork started.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you,
After
Amanda.
Yeah.
That concludes all of our regular business and other business today. Is there any other business to come before the board?
About that one or not?
What's that?
You gonna ask about that one or not?
Steve, did you have any
For information?
Yeah.
FYI with these? Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, the discussion is that we're hoping to keep it at 7%, but as you see, it's set not to exceed 8%, sir. So it's
Eight,
I
right?
mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's lower.
Well, just like with all of our other committees, good luck.
Sounds like a lot of the cost shifts and so forth that we see coming aren't gonna be enacted until 28, so more to come. 27, but
Seven? Yeah, after the 26 election. Yeah, 27.
but it'll be south of 28.
Yes.
Is there any other business come before the board?
Move to adjourn. Or.
Okay. Motion support to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye. Both same sign. Stay adjourned. Thank you. You guys at 1.
Well.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks, Shire.